All right, welcome back. This is Santiago via MDawg, and I'm actually at Bear Lake here for the very first time. In fact, we're gonna go see if we can't find the map here. 9 silver. You see, we're at 1475. We got to get up to what, 1700 or so to get that second Fortuna carp rod. We are going to use one Fortuna carp rod here, but don't worry, we're not actually going for carp. We're actually going to test this out to see how things go fishing for other stuff. So I think we want to be about here, 5563. All right, 5563. I actually am going to use, by the way, we're going to use bream mix. I think bream and maybe other stuff is what we'll end up catching here. I'm going to use large one hook and garlic dough on this first rod. We'll go about 21. How strong of a leader do I have on here? Let's go with a, let's actually go with 9.2, but we're going to like actually get 9.2 strength out of this. So this is our first real deal carp rod. Fortuna carp rod, caliber HSV. Now this is the non-upgraded one. Now on these second two rods, I think I want to be by the way, the other good news is we finally hit loop rig. So I went ahead and put points in loop rig. I'll show you that in just a minute. I think we want to be a little more cautious. Let's go with size 8 hooks. So we're testing garlic dough on line 1. Let's also test cottage cheese dough. Again, clip 21. I'm just hoping to find like an active bite rate here. Now the problem's going to be, holy cow. The problem's going to be if we start hitting a lot of common carp or any kind of like big carp. Like I think that's what this is. Which that's why I went smaller hooks on the other one, and we'll do smaller hooks on the third one as well. Yeah, I think if we're going to do large one hook, we probably actually just need to go, well, we could do 13.6, a little more strength. All right, so we did, what did we do on the second one? Cottage cheese dough. Let's also test, let's see, loop rig. Let's also test pea porridge. And then we can switch to, if any of these are particularly slow, we can switch to pearl barley as well. We can try pearl barley. But let's just see how things appear here. I think what I saw a post by either a Russian or a German player, I'm not sure which. But if I understood what they were trying to communicate was that they really like spots like this at Bear, even if you don't have gear for fully going on for carp yet. I think they were basically saying like the bite rate and the quality of fish is still pretty good. So we're going to test that out. We're going to see like if we spend a little bit of time here. Look at this chub. If we spend a little bit of time here, are we catching some decent fish? Now remember, this is Bear Lake. Here's the map. We're up here at 5563. Oh, maybe we could go slightly left on our cast here. Tough to say what they're doing, but we could see how that looks to go slightly left. Okay, so it looks like we're now getting a bite. As soon as this fish comes in on the cottage cheese dough, we will now have one fish on all 3 baits. Garlic dough, Uh-oh. That's running a little bit. So how often are we going to get into situations where you know, we're fighting common carp that are just too big for us? Can't tell what this is. This is actually a bream. All right, so cottage cheese dough gets the first bream, and it's a nice bream. Now remember, this is Bear Lake, so that's a very nice bream. This is Bear Lake, so we don't have. Oh, I meant to change that quiver tip. We don't have the opportunity. Uh-oh. You know, as interesting as this is, I'm already getting that sense of like, okay, we probably should wait and do this when we have two. Imagine having two harp setups that we could be a little more aggressive like we can with that first line with like somewhere between 9 and 13 strength leaders. And then on the third ride, you actually just put in really small hooks with like bloodworms and just catch the small fish, you know, occasional stuff. This is another bream though. I love that we're catching these bream. Okay, so this might be a nighttime bream spot. So now pea porridge and cottage cheese dough has come through with a nice bream. I wonder, are we getting the slowdown in bite rate because I went too big with the leader size? I don't know. Okay, here's another fish on garlic dough. Let's see what this is. All right, common roach. So one of the things to keep in mind here is with the fact that we're at Bear Lake, there are no cafes. So we're only gonna get paid for the normal cost of these fish we catch, not not any boosted through a cafe. Well, I don't know. At this point, all three of these baits seem to be working really well. And the bream will start to slow down in weight or get smaller. I gotta remember, this is like a full cast on these smaller setups. As we're getting to, so I didn't realize how heavy the bream was gonna be. I would definitely say I would be curious to test this overnight, because overnight you might not get common carp too much. You really might just get healthy bream. Maybe even trophy a bream. I don't know. But this has been good. 7 minutes. We have some interesting fish. They all are kind of marker size. Let's see. We've got pea porridge, garlic dough, pea, cottage cheese, pea, garlic dough. So far, pea porridge is number 1, and cottage cheese is last. And I don't know that I'm going to keep track of that anymore, but based on what I'm seeing right now, I am tempted to go to pea porridge. But I do want to check one thing before going too far down that path. The largest bream was cottage cheese dough. That's what I was afraid of. Now we've had 2 bream on pea porridge. Yeah, I don't know. By the way, I'm tempted to show you this as bonus coverage. This spot that I'm fishing at Copper. I have just been so pleased with Copper lately. Let me get this set up so you can kind of see the fish coming in over here as well. Now I've been fishing in this spot for a while, so it should start slowing down, but it hasn't yet. Okay, so I am sharing it. Let me get, there it is. Okay, so I'm at Copper. Spot wise, I am down here at like 40, what is it, 49 or 50-38, I guess. 50-38. I'm fishing with white cream, regular cream corn. I'm at a 10-meter clip. A very small, simple clip. And both the bite rate and to some extent the quality has been very good. So here's the net. Let's kind of go by species maybe. First, common carp, because I think we're catching another fish off of pea porridge here. Bait number 1, bait number uno. And we can turn this into fish pieces. Maybe get a chance of leveling up our bait harvesting. And I think there's a fish over here too. So slowest so far has either been cottage cheese or garlic dough. But the problem with the test on garlic dough is indecisive because I've got it on a bigger setup, a bigger leader. So that might change the equation a little bit. All right, so there's the common carp. Here's the crucian carp. You see a crucian trophy mixed in there. Here are the dinks leather, 2 dinks leather, several dinks linear, and several tons of dinks mirrors, which what that tells you is that the silver is going to be pretty nice. And then F1s, we've got quite a few, Gibbles some, Kohaku 1, Funny Tench 1, and Tench a ton. So all that is in this spot at 50-38 on cream corn. Actually, I take that back. The trophy crucian and the first few fish were at, so like the first maybe 15 fish were at 56-51 where you saw me fish yesterday. But it was much slower today, and so I moved down here, and it's been much better down here. So I do have to take that back. The crucian trophy did come in up there. But the majority of these dinks and F1s all came in down here. Here's another nice dinks linear. Now I am using PVA. I can show you that really quick. Corn, cream feed pellets 4, 8, and 10. Honey cream 8 pop-ups crushed. And cream attractant. All right. So just so you know what's going on at Copper as we occasionally catch fish over there too. Just trying to make this as entertaining as possible, even if we're focusing primarily on what's happening here on Santiago. Okay, I know these bream aren't worth much, but I do appreciate the chance of maybe getting to level up our bait harvesting. We're getting so close to 65%, which would allow bait fish which means like right now we could catch a ton of rough, turn them into bait fish, and go try to fish Cory off of bottom rigs, bait fishing rigs. So it'll line up with getting the second Fortuna carp rod. I feel like these tests at 160 should be high enough for us to turn it into a bait rig and fish with rough as bait fish. So we'll see if that's still a pretty like healthy bite rate, good situation, then maybe we'll do that a little bit in the coming days. Um, so it looks like Boom is using strawberry in this same spot at copper and catching a lot of rares, so that's cool. So if you want mostly rares, maybe try strawberry. If you want bite rate with lots of dinks, though, then cream corn is working well. You know, the other thing to mention about this first rod with the garlic dough, we do have a large one hook on here. Gonna slow it down. So not the most fair comparison. Garlic dough might actually be a good bait in this spot, but we're slowing it down with that hook size. And now that we're a little later in the morning, it seems like everything has slowed down. Yeah, it's actually pretty slow right now, isn't it? 6 fish. This might not be worth our time. It might have been good if we had focused on being down here for the nighttime. If we could have just really focused on bream time, that might have been the way to go. Oh, this is so slow and scary. This is not worth it. Don't do this. Maybe it's worth trying the nighttime. Getting dialed in on just bream. But I know better than this. We gotta wait till... Ooh, is that a chub? So interesting. We gotta wait till we have these carp setups finalized. The amount of F1s in this spot has been great. Yeah, I haven't had a trophy F1 in quite a while, so just documenting it here. Again, this spot down here on cream corn, unlike the spot I'm trying here at Bear, it's really good. Man, 50-38 clip 10. It's been really nice, and lots of F1s, and getting the trophy F1 is pretty huge. I actually think there is a cafe order right now, so I will keep you posted on that. I don't know if it's one of those like trophy cafe orders that has to be certain size or what the deal is, but we'll find out pretty soon. And I guess I'm gonna try to sit here a little bit longer at Bear and actually get a feel for what a little bit of the nighttime would be like. Really trying to embrace the bream. Something's got to give on this one, though. I'm just not catching any fish. And I suspect it's not because of the garlic dough. Bet it's either the leader size or the hook size that's throwing that one off a little bit. We'll see. Oh, that's interesting. Put this in with smaller hook, smaller leader, and we get a roach right off the bat. Oh boy. This is a bream I'm going to be really tempted to go. Okay, it's not. It's a very small mirror carp, question mark. Oh, leather carp. Okay. Keep undercasting. It's so rare that we catch a fish. Alright, let's actually try to get a little bit of intel here. I actually think that bear is not fished like this that often. Alright, I'm going to try to go parameters. Let's do 2 days. Bream is so far down the list. There's only 2 baits. The last 2 days. Cottage cheese dough. Alright, I think as we get closer to night, I'm gonna actually just go full cottage cheese dough on all 3 and just see if we can get a really nice bream. Oh, this is still on inline. I think we actually want to put everything on loop rig. If for no other reason, I put points in loop rig. And the amount of F1s I've caught here. So if you go to bottom fishing, when we finally unlocked Loop Rig, I went ahead and put 3 points in it. It's just kind of always been my favorite of the bottom rigs. Not necessarily for good reason. Even in the description, if you read it here, it talks about strong current. And like right now, we're not fishing with strong current. We're can't remember if I undercast this one or not, but so if you change it to a loop, it says any type of water bodies in that description. So I guess that makes me feel a little better. But I've just always liked Loop Rig a lot. So, all right, now we're gonna see if we can actually catch a bream here for next few minutes. Is that a bream? It is indeed. So the small bream are starting to come in. White bream. We've got some kind of big big dinks or something on this third line over here at Copper that's running our line out. We're almost at 150 fish. I mean, we're at 121 now. 122 if we get this third one in. I mean, it has just been crazy bite rate out here. All right, I think we need to walk towards this fish a little bit. As long as we keep it pretty much in front of us, it's not going to be able to spool us. Yeah, the problem is it is just over there against the shore, but I mean, we have no... We're not actually in this fish fight. We're just a bystander at this point. Is this a roach? Ooh, wow. Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere there, Santiago. Man. Who knew that the first trophy on bear would be a white bream? Out of cheese dough, huh? I mean, this carp feels so big at Copper, I'm starting to wonder. Starting to wonder what this is. Now, you know, this is 22 kilo line, and the reel is only 16.3 max drag, so I don't know exactly what all that means, but I'm saying this isn't like a full carp setup, for one thing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. getting a nibble on that third rod. The way it's nibbling kind of makes me think that's not a bream, but we'll see. I mean, this is like full on. We just have to wait till this fish gets tired. Guess this is probably a common carp unless it's a really nice bream. That was a nice bream. I think that the fish is on this third rod. Doesn't appear that this is, you know, not like this is going to keep up with a good old berg spot. But we're seeing some bream here and there. That trophy white bream. That might make the whole trip worthwhile. We can at least cut that one up. We're getting some small stuff on these little 8 hooks, but just, I don't think the bite rate's enough to sustain the larger hook. Oh, we're starting to catch some fish. Again, if this is a bream, this is an okay one. Is this one on loop rig as well? Yeah. So I think the only one that's maybe not on loop yet is the first one. I don't think there's any point in reeling yet. We just, again, we're gonna have to just wait just to get a little bit tired. I will not be surprised if this one pops off. Okay. It's starting to come in. Yeah, it may be starting to come in. So this still has a chance of being a bream. More likely like a 3 kilo common carp, sure, but I think there's a chance, given how quickly it got tired. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought it froze. Thought we just lost the other account, but it came back to us. We're okay. Should be able to tell pretty soon here. I got disoriented there. I thought that I had moved farther away from my stuff, but that's on the other account. On this one, I'm standing right next to my stuff, so it kind of just got me confused for a second there. Alright, unfortunately that was a common carp. These are just too small, aren't they? Alright, what if we switch one to garlic dough for a minute? Well, almost just popped it. Didn't realize it was on 29. We are starting to get some traction with this fish, so maybe we're getting there. I don't know. Trying to get to the shore. Is there nowhere close to here that I can actually see the water? This is brutal. All right. This is a little better. Yeah, I mean, I really, I have no idea. I don't know what to tell you. It seems like a big fish at copper. Even on this smaller setup, this still seems like a really big fish. Hopefully we're not getting spooled on one of the other rods. It's been so long. Wouldn't you know it, we put in garlic dough and immediately we get a nice bream. Wouldn't you know it? I think I'm just going to switch it to 28 to be safer over here. Getting a little closer, but it's still, when it wants to, it can still swim away from us. I've been so careful with this fish. Not that I really had any choice. We couldn't really overpower it. Locking this one up would have just broken the leader. So okay. Bites in a row on garlic dough. This also seems to be maybe a 1 kilo plus bream. Yes, indeed. 2.3, in fact. All right. I think we guessed wrong. I read the tea leaves wrong. Once it's nighttime and bream time, it seems like garlic dough is actually better. So let's do that. Let's put 2 garlic dough on. Oh, we need energy over here. Quickly. Well, this is exciting. What is this going to be? I mean, if it's a Dinks, it doesn't matter which Dinks it is. I think it's going to be 20 kilo plus. And so it's going to be really nice silver, really nice XP. If it's less than 20 kilo, I'll be a little surprised just because of how long it's taken to get any kind of traction. Now this is on a, you know, double corn. This is like a, on average, this gets a lot smaller fish, but every once in a while you hit something like this, a surprise, decent size one. I do think if I was using my bigger copper setup with the royal feeders, we would have already worn him out, gotten him in, I suspect. Yeah, the spot's just not quite as active as you want it to be. Or the bream at bear. We're on the verge here. Tell us getting tired. Every once in a while it just gets a little bit of strength still, but mostly it's kind of slowly giving us progress, reeling him in. All right, I'm coming off of cottage cheese dough altogether. I'm gonna go back on pea porridge on this one just to have something a little different on. Now we've got 2 garlic dough and 1 pea. Okay. Oh, it's crucian. Cannot get a visual at all on this fish at copper. I am tempted to try to, first of all, this should appear like this. Make it a little bigger for a second here just so you can hopefully see as we see it in the water approaching what it actually is. Still be able to see this okay too though. Alright, so pea porridge getting something pretty small. It's a bream, it's sub 1 kilo I think. It looks like a bream, but it actually looks like it's bigger than a kilo. Visually. Yeah. 1.3. Alright, so we can see the fish in the water. I'm going to get you a look here straight on. And it is clearly a dinks, and I think that's a mirror. And I think I'm right about the 20 kilo range. Again, when it's this big on this size setup, you just don't know. Wait, am I right on the mirror, or is it... We just need to get this fish in. I need to quit thinking about it. Holy cow. 27 dinks mirror. Oh my goodness. Okay. That will definitely be a weekly. Linear? And these are some nice fish. I guess we just sit here a little bit longer, see if we can get one more fish. I mean, we're barely gonna cover our travel cost. Well, I guess the trophy will help, won't it? Alright, there it is. Weekly record dinks mirror, regional record dinks mirror, record of the week dinks mirror. That was a big dinks mirror. Might be like 1,500 silver at copper. I mean, I don't know. Because some of the time we were catching like more common small stuff, and then some of the time we've been catching really good stuff. Oh, and we have that trophy F1 as well. Wow, lots of trophies tonight. This has been really fun. Oh, another 2.144 F1. Pretty amazing. And I think that we'll have a decent payday off of that trophy order. By the way, this is pea porridge. Pretty nice little bream. It's like the first thing I said when we first started fishing here is like, oh, it kind of feels like pea porridge is the best bite rate. And then what did we do? We went all cottage cheese dough, which was so slow. And then I switched to 2 garlic dough, which has also been slow. I don't know. I think overall it's just slow. It also feels like, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on direction here. It almost feels like we're not quite on the right spot. I'm at 21 meter clip. I don't know. Feels like we're close, but not quite there on the spot. All right. So not our best session here at Bear, but awfully good session here at Copper. Oh, the trophy had to be 3.4, so I was wrong on that. Well, that definitely hurts a little bit. Let's see how we did though. So instead of 200 and something silver, it's worth 100 silver. We still did 1,800 silver. Wow. We will take it. Yeah, that is pretty nice. And then unfortunately not as good here at Bear, but we definitely covered the travel cost and a little more. 130. How long would we fished over an hour, right? Hour and 10 minutes. 130. Not great, but hey, we got a first experience at bear and we didn't actually drive ourselves crazy. Caught a trophy white bream. Actually, all in all, I'd say that's pretty good, and we are getting so close. I mean, we are just one good session away from being able to afford that second carp rod, which means we'll probably be back to bear soon, but next time we're going to embrace the carp a little more instead of trying to catch the smaller stuff like we did this time. Okay, let's wrap this one up though. As always, thanks for watching Tight Lines. I will see you next time.